What does it mean to be invisible in a world obsessed with being seen? Joker is not just a film, it is an exploration of loneliness, despair, and the desperate human need to be acknowledged. Arthur Fleck's story unfolds in the shadows of Gotham City, a place where people are lost, discarded, and unheard. His laughter, often mistaken for madness, is the only language he has to communicate his pain and isolation. Arthur Fleck is a man fragmented by life. His body aches with a neurological disorder that forces uncontrollable laughter, but it's his mind that bears the deepest scars. Society's cruelty, neglect, and relentless judgment chip away at his fragile identity, making him a ghost among the living. The film's portrayal does not seek sympathy, but demands reflection. How often do we look away from those who struggle quietly beside us? The city of Gotham itself is a character drenched in decay and neglect. It's a dark mirror reflecting the fractures within society's soul. The widening gap between the rich and the poor, the powerful and the powerless, creates a breeding ground for despair. This environment does not merely host Arthur's downfall, it nurtures it, feeding the anger and alienation that will eventually explode into chaos. Arthur's transformation is a slow unraveling of the self, a descent into a persona created by pain and neglect. His evolution from a man ignored to a symbol of rebellion is both tragic and horrifying. He becomes the Joker, a figure who laughs at the absurdity of a world that refuses to see him as human, embodying the rage and hopelessness of those crushed beneath societal indifference. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. Your support truly helps us grow and keep going. The film's cinematography captures this journey with intimate, sometimes uncomfortable close-ups. We are forced to peer into Arthur's eyes, windows to a fractured soul. The camera lingers on his trembling smile, the twitch of his lips, the haunted look that flickers between vulnerability and menace. It's a visual dance between empathy and horror. One cannot ignore the haunting score, an eerie, melancholic melody that seeps into the soul. It underscores the tension between Arthur's inner chaos and his desperate attempts to connect with a world that shuns him. The music becomes a character itself, echoing the pain and madness that define the film's emotional core. At its heart, Joker is a critique of social failure, the failure to see, to hear, and to care. It questions the very foundation of society's promise of compassion. How many Arthurs are invisible around us, hidden behind masks of silence and smiles? How many are broken by a world that denies their humanity? The film does not offer easy answers. Instead, it presents a mirror reflecting the discomfort of acknowledging our role in creating monsters. Arthur is a product of neglect, but also a symbol of the chaos that festers when society turns a blind eye. His laughter, both chilling and tragic, is the sound of a world unraveling. In the closing scenes, Arthur's final metamorphosis is both liberating and horrifying. He embraces the Joker persona fully, no longer a victim, but a force of destruction. This is the film's ultimate question. What happens when the ignored rise? When the broken scream back? The answer is chaos, but it is chaos born from silence and neglect. Joker is not merely a story of madness, it is a dark poem about human fragility, societal failure, and the desperate yearning to be seen. It forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about empathy, isolation, and the consequences of neglecting the marginalized. It reminds us that behind every mask there is a story waiting to be heard. One of the most haunting aspects of Joker is its interrogation of identity. Arthur Fleck's journey is a painful reminder of the fragility of the self when stripped of recognition. Philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre once said, "Hell is other people." In Arthur's world, hell is precisely this: invisibility. Without that gaze, without acknowledgement, the self begins to dissolve, leaving behind a void filled with chaos. The film's use of color is symbolic and deliberate. The sickly greens and muddy browns of Gotham mirror the decay of both the city and Arthur's psyche. Red here is not just violence, it is also passion, anger, and a reclaiming of identity in a world that seeks to erase it. Arthur's laughter can be read as a tragic paradox. It is at once a defense mechanism and a scream for help. Neuroscientifically, laughter releases tension, but in Arthur's case, it isolates him further. His uncontrollable laughter is a metaphor for the human condition. How often do we mask our pain with smiles, perform sanity to hide madness, and laugh to survive unbearable truths? The movie's narrative also invites a critical reflection on mental health and societal responsibility. Arthur is a person failed by the system, denied proper care, compassion, and dignity. This failure is not just individual, but structural. It forces viewers to ask uncomfortable questions. How does society treat its most vulnerable? What cracks in the social fabric allow pain to fester until it bursts violently? Arthur's fractured reality and fantasy blur as the story progresses. His dream of love and acceptance with Sophie, a neighbor, is fragile and possibly imagined. This ambiguity reflects the human need for connection and the tragic isolation of those who find it elusive. It's a haunting reminder that sometimes the greatest cruelty is to deny people their dreams. Ultimately, Joker is a meditation on the thin line between sanity and madness, order and chaos, visibility and invisibility. It challenges us to question how empathy is distributed and what happens when empathy fails. Arthur Fleck's story is a mirror held up to the audience, forcing uncomfortable recognition that sometimes monsters are born not from evil, but from neglect.